All right, everybody. Welcome to Tokened. This is the podcast where we cut through the noise and dive straight into what matters into Web3, NFTs, and tech culture. I'm your host, Joe Benso. Alongside me is my co-host, Michael Ross. Thank you, Michael, for being here. This is actually our first episode, and we're here to bring you conversations with the people shaping the future of digital ownership, culture, metaverse, everything Web3. We're not here to overhype, sugarcoat anything, just real talk with all the innovators, creators, and thinkers going forward. And today, excited about this big one to kick things off. We're talking about NFTs and crypto going mainstream, the changing face of crypto, regulation, meme coins, and I've got a question about your opinion on President Donald Trump's approach to crypto, including the new Trump coin and how that's maybe rewriting the rules of crypto, what it means for NFTs going mainstream. And zooming out, we're going to explore where the space is headed in 2025. To help us do all of that, we've got our special guest, Alexandre, co-founder, NFT Paris. Alexandre, thank you.
GM Joe and GM Michael, thank you for the intro. I'm excited to have just a real talk. I have a ton of things to say actually on that topic. So whenever you want to dive in, let's do it.
No, cool. And I'm super excited to have you here. Of course, it's also special that I met Joe actually last year at NFT Paris. It's one of my favorite conferences every year. So, of course, it's going to happen soon. Also proud, of course, that Sleep.io is sponsoring and partnering with you. So super excited to have you here. And beside us, of course, you have major brands connected to the conference. I saw indeed like Ledger, Animoca, and many more. So amazing to have you here. And I'm very happy to hear what you can share, the differences, what you're planning for the upcoming release of the conference.
Yeah, let's get into it. Alexandre, first question, how did NFT Paris go from, a small idea or maybe a big idea to one of the premier destinations in Europe and the powerhouse it is today, NFT Paris?
Well, that's a question I like. So we did the first edition it was in 2022, so NFTs were booming, and we did actually a first small edition. So the edition was at Station F. It was 1,000 people. So not many people know NFT Paris through this edition because it was like a small one, the first one. And in parallel, there was NFT NYC, which was booming at the time because I think it was their third event or something like that. And it was the peak hype of NFTs. And so I think there was really a contrast between basically NFT NYC, which started small, but was making a ton of money, and us, which were like really a small event. We were still students at the time because it was like I was in last year of school, and so I think it helped us a lot just to the first year once money was there, we didn't really benefit from that money. And so the year after, we decided to scale. We said, okay, the first year was a success. Let's go from 1,000 to 20,000 attendees. Let's go from 10 booths to 100 booths. But obviously, then it was a different story, because we weren't like the real bear market came. And so this time it was like a real challenge. Like, how do you scale something when, the market is like doing minus 90% at the same time? And I think luckily the good thing for us is that we had booked already the venue. So we booked a very big venue. So once you book the venue, you're like the date is set, some people sponsored, like it's going to happen. So you have to just assume and go to the end. So to be honest, that's the real answer is just it helped us a lot to have this pressure, like immense pressure, I would say, during the bear markets. And so 2023, we did it just because we had no sleep. We were trying to beat at the same time NFT NYC, so strong competition, difficult financial conditions. But I think it helped us because we learned a lot like in a year, and we definitely wouldn't have if we were making like a ton of money and we were. So we learned a ton of things, and then the year after we did the same event, same place, so we were able to perfect some things. And now, obviously, the market is a bit back, so it's easier for us now to have this powerhouse, but all the lessons were, to be honest, during the tough times.
But if you look at the lessons, what are the main lessons you learned from last year? And of course, I see, of course, you have another amazing venue now for this year.
You mean in terms of logistics or in terms of what I learned from in general?
Oh, I see. Last year was pretty well. Was you said okay? Was still, of course, in the bear market. I was there last year. It looked amazing, right? It was everything was, I would say, very professional and well set up, and a very good atmosphere. Even though, of course, the market was still tough. Now, of course, things are differently. But if you look at learnings, I would say in organizing the event, what is your biggest learning there?
I think it's counterintuitive. So to be honest, so first year at the Grand Palais, we had a ton of people and we made the space smaller by closing some areas, basically. And so it looked super, super packed, but it was maybe too much packed. There was a lot of queues. So all of that. And so people were like hyped about the scale of the event, but at the same time, many people were frustrated. So the year after, we decided, okay, let's open everything. Let's build a bigger stage. Let's improve those logistical aspects. But I think after the last edition, I figured that maybe it was better when it was packed, even though like the experience is not perfect. I think most of the value in an event is just being excited about having a ton of people at the same place, things being a bit crazy. You might not have the perfect experience in terms of like not enough drinks or not enough like too much queue or I don't know what. But I think it's to be honest better, and it's not what people are looking for. So this year we're trying to bring back, I guess, the our second edition where it was more packed, more stuff at the same place, like more energy. Because in the end, you can have a good experience, but in an event you're looking for human energy. So we're trying to bring that back, and also big lesson is how much side events were popping up. And it's a lesson I took also from ECC. Like side events are eating the main events. That's for sure. And so we're trying to counterbalance that by having a venue where you can host side events inside. So really trying to become a powerhouse. I think it can be the case only if you have side events somehow. Otherwise, most people, they don't want to. They just want to do a side event. So you have to offer something that fits.
Can you talk a little bit about those side events, because that's a unique approach to, you have the main event, which is NFT Paris, but you're also bringing in other kind of industries. Maybe you can talk a little bit about those other special events that you're bringing in and focus on which topics, and maybe which topics are you most excited about as the space is maturing.
So for sure, I think this year we have 4 summits. So we have XYZ Paris, which is basically stuff around AI in Web3, Gen AI. Then we have Ordinals Paris, which is Bitcoin and Ordinals, NFT Paris, which is fashion, culture, gaming, art. So our core value proposition and historic audience, I would say. And then we have RWA Paris, which is an event around finance and Web3. So we really have much more topics than we used to have. I think fashion and gaming and was already a lot, but now we're getting a bit of everything. And what I'm excited about, I think it's mainly things around AI. So it's things I really liked when I went to ECC. So all the intersections on AI and Web3. NFT Paris, we're going to launch something quite soon. I cannot tell a ton of stuff about it, but it's going to be it's going to be something around AI and Web3, and so it's something around NFTs, obviously, because we're NFT Paris. And so I think this is a topic where I worked on it. So it's not only inviting speakers; it's also like following what is interesting, because we want to have a good project, and I think we created some interesting stuff. So I would definitely say AI and Web3. That's the main narrative. That's maybe the industry that's going to make the most sense for crypto. But because user experience is hard, so having AI to assist you with doing anything on chain is super interesting. But also it's an industry that's going to have a ton of developments outside of crypto. So it's very interesting to have this kind of innovations being here all the time. because it's what lacked with NFTs mainly is like it popped up and then no innovation for quite some time. And then if I link it to the side events, so I think the side events, to be honest, it's not like what I'm interested in. It's more we're selling space. So it's more on a business standpoint, it was interesting for me to sell space and then we sell it to whoever book it. And currently we have like Ape Chain that is doing a cocktail. We have a cocktail on RWA by Lumia. We have a Clenosaur cocktail, so it's cool. There is Solana communities, Ape Chain / Ethereum communities. NFTFi is doing a breakfast, so finance stuff. So you know, most of the side event thing is not like the question is not me being excited about the side event. It's more like how do we bring a maximum of people and how is there something for everybody inside the event? So that's what we did.
Cool, excited. Is there any speakers that I'm really looking forward to that speaker this year?
I think mainly the cool thing is this year we extended the topic. So we have like Microsoft wasn't speaking previously, Google wasn't speaking, OpenAI wasn't speaking. So we have all these guys on AI, where I think it's going to be really interesting because of the impact it's going to have. But obviously, it's more on the pure AI side. And then, if I'm being honest, on the Web3 side, I think it's more the traditional ones. So this year we opened the doors, so we have like 400 speakers. But I'm excited about seeing, what is like Yuga going to do this year? What is Pudgy Penguins going to do this year? Because for most of these guys, there is kind of a revival for sure. Like they've been very impressive in the bear market, and now it's the time to see whether even Azuki, like, can you really transform that into reality? Can the funds be spent on things that are sustainable, or is it round two of the same hype and same? And I'm quite bullish. I'm more bullish than I was last year and in the bear market, like where I was pretty sure that when the bull market would come back, like projects would look totally different. But it's not been the case, and it's weird to see like leaders being the same, and I think it's very interesting. So
I thought you were going to say my presentation on the 14 on the RWA stage, but no, I get it. No worries, no worries.
You're right.
No, it's really it shows kind of like the belief in the space to put forward such a well-run conference and event, especially during a bear market. Like I said, I was there, and it was interesting to see. Curious on your thoughts, being located in Paris, and as you said, there's the well-known NFT NYC events that are always going on. And I also know that, a lot of people from the European side had a hard time kind of making travel plans and getting to New York. And curious, like, what the market is, the level of engagement around European Web3 builders versus US builders. I mean, it's a broad global space.
I think, to be honest, there was definitely some demand, to have an event in Europe, and that's why it worked. Paris is a nice place for events in general, so people are excited to come to Paris. Like Vivatech is working very well. It's a big tech conference, where there was Elon Musk, and so I think it's a good place for events. So it has definitely helped us. There was also something where during the Biden administration, it was like hard for the conferences in the US. With Gary Gensler, but now it's changing. So I'm glad that to be honest, I'm glad for the industry overall, because like the US is a powerhouse, and France is not currently a powerhouse in terms of builders. So I think it's a good net positive for the industry. I think NFT Paris were glad that we had this time to took the space and to attract people, because if there was like some for the past 4 years, I'm pretty sure we would have never existed. Like if there was someone pro crypto, we cannot compete on builders. So we had more competitions on like politicians saying, welcome to and welcoming all the crypto companies. But in the future, I think if we put if we do a great experience, people are going to come back, but there is going to be a lot more competition from the US. And I think there is going to be less reasons for people to leave the US, to be honest, because I don't know if the innovation is happening in your country. Like, probably you don't need to travel to the other part of the world, but we'll see.
There's definitely competition, but one of the things that attracted me to this space so much, especially getting into NFTs, was, the idea of collaboration, and also the technology lends itself very well incentivizing people to collaborate. And even through the bear market, when you're involved in some of these NFT projects, for example, Bored Ape Yacht Club, which Michael and myself are involved in. It's a very collaborative community, and so you do have this very international collective that are supporting each other. And I think as this space matures and the technology advances, and people realize, okay, there are very powerful incentives to collaborate. Can you talk a little bit about the collaborations that you have for the event itself? And getting back to my previous thought here, traveling internationally, it's great that Michael Sleep.io, you guys have a collaboration where it's super easy to pay in crypto and find the accommodations that you need in a new city. That's something that speaks to me as well, and I think it's very convenient. Maybe you can talk about the collaborations that are opening up because of your event.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we don't have like beyond the sleep, to be honest, we don't have a ton of collaborations because there are a lot of sponsors, there are a lot of people trying to, no, yeah, but there are a lot of people trying to tell us, I'm not paying for a booth, maybe you can use my services. And so NFT Paris usually says, like, no, we're selling a booth and we're not doing collabs usually. That being said, in the case of sleep, it's very relevant just because we're a conference, people need to travel. So it's obviously like solving a pain point of our audience. So it's a bit different. And so we have a much deeper partnership that's not what's listed in our deck, basically. But yeah, I think it's very exciting for just people to have, even the fact that they've booked a hotel, like the DJN hotel, where everybody's going to be inside the same
That's
hotel.
going to be
I
so
think
much
that's
fun.
cool.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
going to be so much fun. So you can see, especially days is growing quickly. So we blocked another bunch of rooms there. So that's going to be a lot of fun there. I think it also makes sense, right? You say, okay, the venue is in a different location. Indeed, you say, okay, I want to organize side events around and in the same spot, then it makes also sense to stay around the same venue, right? As well. Otherwise, the mornings can be tough, of course, with traveling, and if you can stay nearby, it makes a lot of sense. Well, Joe, you did indeed just mention the NFT market. Of course, it's like there are a lot of discussions around NFTs, right? What are NFTs? Are they good? Are they bad? There's so much opinions about it. Some people still think about monkey pictures. It's like always a fun discussion. So how do you see it? As, of course, some people call it Web3 conference, or somebody called, of course, more focusing on blockchain. You still, of course, in your name is the word NFT, right? What do you see as the perception of the word NFT nowadays? And do you see it changing?
I think it has definitely changed. So, even through it has become neutral, more neutral than it used to be. At some point it was the word, like everyone was telling me, do something, change your name. And there was a lot of pressure from people like who seemed to know it all, and wanted us to change our brand from NFT to I don't know what Paris. And I really thought about it in 2023, I think, thinking maybe this is limiting us and we need to change and nobody's going to use the word NFT. Truth is that people tried calling it digital collectible. They tried calling it all ton of names, and it's still like people still employ NFTs a lot. So I think now, like I'm listening, to some French rap songs, and they say the word NFT. Actually, they don't say like digital collectible. So people now, they know that NFTs exist. It has some bad connotation because it basically did minus 98% on most of the collections. But I think, people forget also. You just have some years passing by and they kind of forget. So now the state, I think, of NFTs is like brand wise, it's much more positive than it was 2 years ago. It's like people have a small negative feeling, but it's almost neutral. So that's why we're able to have NFT Paris, but also RWA Paris, but also, and all these speakers, they come to speak, even if it's a bit attached to NFTs, because now nobody cares. And so I think this is, I hope, and it's pretty much the expansion cycle is like, ton of hype, then it goes down, ton of hate, then it slowly recovers, and then people ignore it almost. And then I think we're going from there, like to slowly just move way up, build an industry, have winners, and in 10 years it will be a thriving industry. Just we need some time.
And do you remember what was your first one, your first NFT?
My first NFT, I think it was on Nifty Gateway, so I was buying a ton of very expensive stuff. So I basically, when I entered the NFT space, I had 30K to put into NFTs, and I basically put it on like very bad things. But I forgot. I think it was one not too bad. So one Ferocious. There were some artists that were like good at the time. Ferocious. Then I was one guy doing Gucci paintings, and I bought this for like 10K or something. And so yeah, I spent a lot of money at the wrong time very quickly, and then luckily I pivoted very quickly. Then I made some money on the Tezos ecosystem, and then I repivoted back to Ethereum. So I don't remember the first, but it was just the Nifty Gateway collections, and then a lot of money on Pack also. Borat Pack. Oh, but I blasted a ton of money on this game. So yeah.
Do you have a Grail NFT that you either have or you wish you had?
I think I cannot talk about this right now. I think it's a weird answer to say, but that's the truth. Like I have some like speculation about some NFTs, and so it's not a well-known NFT. It's not Azuki. It's not Bored Ape.
We're getting curious now.
Yeah, it's a totally unknown one, but that's the truth. Like I've been mostly focusing on an unknown collection, and we'll see. Maybe it's two flip. Either it's complete shit, and I've lost a lot of time, or it's something, and we'll see. But I don't think it's a good idea to shield this kind of low cap stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of technologies are coming together. You talked about AI, generative AI and art and the technology around NFTs. And curious, as more and more, let's say, utility comes to the space, and you're having things combined like meme coins. Your thought around meme coins? We just had this last week. Kind of a shakeup in the crypto industry, and maybe some new rules being rewritten. Also, potentially, on the regulation side, President Donald Trump launching his official meme coin and gaining, evaluate like a market cap of over $10 billion in like 24 hours. It's really kind of insane what's going on. And just what's your take and how this maybe actually onboards the masses into this space, and what that means for NFTs, what that means for Web3.
I think it's definitely a net positive. Like we have, again, the US is the main place of innovation in the space. I think in 2021, 80% of the companies, of the sponsors of NFT Paris were from the US. So the fact that we have like 4 years of clearance, and it's a very clear clearance. I think having Melania and Trump coin. I think that's so. I'm all for experimentation, innovation, and regulation later. And that's what we tend not to do in Europe, sadly, where we want to regulate stuff before they even happen. So I think it's very, very bullish, because just finally, like, we're going to see a ton of people launching things. So of course there will be some scams, like people lose some money, but I think overall it's just the necessary condition. Like if you want one good stuff, you need 100 bad stuff, and that's just the reality. And you need some economic incentives, So I think this is all going to happen really fast. It's like again the far west, and I think it's really good. I'm really excited, and I think we're all very lucky to just be in this industry that to be sincere is not mature enough. So it needs those kind of far west conditions to have new stuff, because we cannot regulate right now where like there is no real use cases and there is no, so we need new stuff. So I'm excited.
And next year we see meme coins as a new topic on NFT Paris.
Yeah, I think we hesitated, this year to put my thinking was that it did not make sense because there is too much overlap with the audience because we're targeting audiences and obviously a lot of people who are in NFTs are also in meme coins, and so we have a meme coin panel, but it's I don't know if we need a meme coin conference also because most of the meme coins, the founders are anons. The projects are changing quite quickly, and it's hard to for example, I don't know, most of the projects have anon founders. So currently at the conference we're going to have Pepe founder. Pepe is sponsoring the conference. We have Bonk. We're going to have a Coinbase just representing also the institutional meme coin side. But otherwise, it's very hard when you think about that. When you create a conference, you need probably 100 speakers. Who are you going to invite beside people that are already in NFTs, that are NFT influencers?
So Melania and Trump next year then.
Melania Trump. Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah, you might need a special conference just for the Trump themed meme coin.
It's true. It's true. Now it's an industry.
Anything that you want people to take away this year that you're excited about at this event?
Or any alphas or anything you want to share?
Any alphas, yeah. I think, we'll see. It was really a year of experimentation for us. So just, bringing these summits together. I don't know what the finance people will tell to the AI people that will tell to the meme coin guys. So I'm just excited to bring all of these people in the same place. I think it's very uncommon. And I think we did it by having different brands. And so I'm just excited about the potential opportunities that would have never happened because I think that's my role. In the end, our role with NFT Paris is bringing collaborations that you cannot do if you don't meet in person. So let's see. I hope something comes out of this, but I'm very excited just about this, about having people coming at an NFT event. Okay, they will listen to Yuga, they will listen to Azuki, they will listen to Pudgy. But also, if they want to be interested by something else, they have a ton of things to learn. And I think it's what brought to me some fresh air. For example, during ECC, is I sat at the conference that were AI x Web3, and I learned a ton of things. And I think that's what's missing currently in NFT conferences. Is just we're repeating the same thing over and over again. So I'm excited to bring some new content to the table, in addition to the new content that is coming from the NFT space.
So we do have a segment here, Alexander. I hope you're up for it. We have some rapid fire questions that you can't back out of. You have to answer one or the other. But maybe Michael, you wanna take it away and give some rapid fire questions to Alexander.
Well, let's do. So minting at 3 a.m. or waiting till the floor to drop?
Minting at 3 a.m.
Well, you have both topics, but if you have to choose AI or Web3?
Web3.
PFP NFTs or utility NFTs?
Oh, PFP NFTs.
HODL or flip?
HODL.
HODL. Okay. This might be controversial, but Bored Apes or Pudgy Penguins?
I don't know if I can answer this one.
You got to have the right answer, though.
I would say Bored Apes.
Correct answer.
I think it was a perfect one to finish with that one. I had a few more, but I think this one as an ending is amazing. No, really looking forward again to see you in a few weeks. Indeed, in person again in Paris. Looking forward to the conference. Thank you for joining today, and thank you for being a partner, of course, of Sleep.io.
Yeah, congrats on last year's event, and looking forward to this event.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Joe.